Beautiful indeed, again, and poetic, and
Yep.
very powerful. Um,
Yes.
Let me ask you this then. How have your ideas of the singularity or immortality evolved since the beginning of the moment that you decided and started the project of making the movie, or have they evolved at all?
Oh,
Was there, for
look,
example, one thing that you got very surprised that you discovered in that process? Like the most surprising thing that you totally did not expect or foresee?
no, I think that even before I started the project, I think that there's nothing beautiful about death. Ashes to ashes, dust to dust seems like the most absurd, depressing idea ever. I mean, to me, I'll tell you what's beautiful. What's beautiful is that from very simple, single-celled organisms came this sublime, thing, manifold of the wonders, for nothing is more wondrous than man, as Sophocles said. I think man standing tall and reciting poetry and, Shakespeare and Einstein and music and goosebumps and poetry and love. I think these are transcendent qualities, meant for gods, not for creatures that die. Ernest Becker said we are gods with anuses, and that's the inherent problem of the human condition, that we are, with our minds we can ponder the infinite, yet we're housed in these heart-pumping, breath-gasping, decaying bodies. We are godly, yet creaturely. So I think the purpose of humanity is to transcend death. I think that the purpose of our engineering prowess is to subvert entropy and overcome entropy. Alan Harrington says we must never forget we are cosmic revolutionaries, not stooges conscripted to advance a natural order that kills everybody. So I think ultimately, you ask me what's the point of the human machine civilization? Well, to trump death, to let the qualities of poetry and love and intellect roam free, unbounded by biological limitations. That's the goal of humanity, and that continues to be my belief.
Well, that sounds amazing, but one of the most common criticisms to that approach is that, and which is a criticism quite often leveled against Ray Kurzweil himself, is that that's a very even overly optimistic, approach. In other words, it undermines or even completely ignores the pitfalls, the dangers on the way to immortality. So, for example, we've all seen the Terminator. We've all seen the Matrix. That's one potential pitfall of, say, the machines, the artificial intelligence rebelling or taking over and us going the way of the dinosaurs. That's only one of the potential scenarios. Another one is a great polarization within humanity itself between technophobes and technophiles, between what you would call neo-Luddites who are against genetic engineering, against artificial intelligence, against the
Yeah.
advance and exponential growth of technology, and transhumanists or posthumanists who embrace those ideas. And
Right. Well, I mean, it's just, I think human beings have free will, and so those that are against these ideas will just, I guess, they won't be part of this evolution. But those that augment themselves with technology will become millions, trillions, of times more intelligent. I mean, already a person with a cell phone in Africa today has more communication access than the president of the United States did 10 years ago. So I think more and more people are becoming empowered. Those that choose to not become empowered, I think, are fools. But you know what? Margaret Mead said. What is they say? So some of us, Margaret, what was her quote? Um, oh yes, those that are against this, the meek shall inherit the earth, but the rest of us shall go to the stars. So look, I think this process is an inevitable continuation of technology. Kevin Kelly calls technology the seventh kingdom of life, the technium. I mean, it's us. It's evolution accelerated. So, I mean, to say that you are against this is like saying that you're against evolution.
no, but I don't mean only about saying. I mean about people who take action. I mean, the Unabomber was just a terrorist who was blowing up, people and was sending them bombs and etc. But imagine a world in which, for example, Hugo de Garis calls the Artilect War, and he calls those new Luddites the Terrans. And those people may disagree with us, but they may not limit themselves only to vocal opposition. They may actually take action, just like the Unabomber did, only they can not take small-sized bombs, but they can employ nuclear weapons, biological weapons, you name it. So there is that.
Look, I mean, I think those things.
That idea that those things can lead to a global war, that friction. Richard Clarke, the former anti-terrorist czar of the U.S., wrote a book called Breakpoint, in which was, science fiction sort of novel set in 2012. But his whole idea was a U.S. divided by people who oppose the radical advances of technology and people who embrace it. And it was quite interesting that the person in charge of that wrote a science fiction book or a novel on that topic, a very powerful one, I thought, too. So there's a lot of people who are willing to go beyond vocal opposition and take concrete, armed and violent action against people like you, maybe people like me, anyone who embraces any transhumanist or post-humanist ideology.
I don't know. I think that these technologies only extend. I don't know. I mean, when everybody's reality is this beautiful canvas that they can engineer at will. I mean, why would people be against this? Why would people be against the extension of human ability? Why would people be against the extension of human imagination? Why would people be against better tools to create better art that we can share?
One answer to that question, for example, is saying what was said when antibiotics were introduced at the first time, right? If God wanted us to live forever, he would have made us so. For example, right? Obviously, he didn't want us to be immortal. Therefore, it is a blasphemy to go against him. I'm not embracing that argument. I'm just.
I know you're not, but I almost think to even acknowledge somebody who would be against antibiotics lowers our discussion. Really, life expectancy used to be what, 34 or something. If you really believe that we shouldn't tinker with nature, then we'd all be dying at 34.
It was 48 when Social Security was introduced in the U.S. Yeah.
Again, we prefer to be for rather than against, to create solutions rather than to protest against what exists. We want to dismiss gloom, defeatism, and negativism. We do not allow problems to dominate our thinking and our direction. That's what the Imaginary Foundation says. I think they said it well. And I said, ideas catch the dewdrops and reflect the cosmos, so let those ideas be noble, let them be poetic, and let them be beautiful. I just think sometimes other people's words are the best to use in those situations. But anyway.
I absolutely agree. I love quotes myself, and I'm familiar with many of those, so I love that you're bringing them up.
Awesome.
But if there's one thing that you want our listeners and viewers to take away today from this podcast with you, what would that be? The major message in probably a couple of sentences.
Oh yeah, well, that those of us that understand the implications of exponential growth, of accelerating exponential growth in technology, and I think that a lot of people do. I think the fact that you're seeing Singularity University over in Silicon Valley, backed by Google, at the NASA campus, smarter, more influential people are coming into it all the time. These ideas are becoming more mainstream all the time.
Yeah.
I think it's our responsibility to communicate these ideas to people, because one of the things they do at Singularity University is that everybody that comes there has to come out of it with an idea that can help 1 billion people. But in order to come up with the best ideas and think of the best goods and services and come up with better ideas for companies and products is to incorporate the implications of exponential growth into our thinking, so that we can, like Kurzweil says, we can invent things with the technologies of the future. We can think about things that we want to do tomorrow with technologies that maybe not be that are not here yet, but that will be here tomorrow. So it's kind of like trying to put to look at the world through the eyes of understanding exponential growth, so that we can make sense of what's happening on a daily basis. I think that's a very important message. And the other one is be excited. Be excited. Human flourishing and human poetry are deeply embedded with what science is allowing more of us to do. I think it's just cool.
That was a very pleasant, very optimistic, very passionate, very upbeat kind of an interaction. I enjoyed it enormously today, Jason.
Oh, so did I. Well, thank you so much, and do let me know when this is up.
I will definitely let you know when this is up, and all the best. Good luck with your movie. Thanks again for your time.
Oh, thank you. We'll stay in touch.